Not a lot of rookies on this Raiders team.
Welcome in, everybody. It's the coach, and you're tuned in to Madden 19 on EA Sports. Up next, we've got what ought to be a great matchup between the Oakland Raiders and the Pittsburgh Steelers. So with that, let's get you up to Heinz Field in Pittsburgh. Standing by for the call, here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach. EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the steel capital of the world, Pittsburgh, PA, and Heinz Field. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Oakland Raiders and the Pittsburgh Steelers. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Charles, we look at this Steeler ball club entering play. They can't be any better as we hit the halfway mark. A perfect 7-0 on the year.
And when we looked at this team in August and we looked at the schedule, we thought they had the potential to get off to a hot start, but I don't think either of us expected 7-0.
On the other side of the field for the visiting Raiders, they come in feeling good after back-to-back victories.
And they looked awfully good last week and came away with a 2-touchdown victory. They did have a few reasons for concern defensively, but all in all, they'll take a repeat here if they could get it.
The first 2 months of the regular season down. What will the final two bring us as we're off in Week 9? And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. So here comes the Raider offense now onto the field. And leading them out there, their 6'5" quarterback.
And what's a quarterback's best friend?
Balance?
I think you're right. I agree with you. You know, a lot of guys would say great receiver, right? A terrific offensive line. But I agree with you, balance, because if you can run the ball effectively, that just opens things up for guys who want to throw it and gives you easier passing lanes and easier coverages to read.
And they said balance will be a focus in this one.
Yeah, they don't want it all just heaped on his shoulders, I don't believe. I think they want to make sure they take some of the pressure off.
And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It'll be a loss of 1, and it'll be 2nd and 11.
Okay, let's just make this one simple. We know that the running game is not their thing, but they can't just throw it on every single down without expecting some real heat from the pass rush.
From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Able to get there and pick it. And a huge return as he'll take this one all the way down inside the 30-yard line. Certainly not how they envisioned ending their opening drive here in the first quarter.
Too many ones in this play. First quarter, first drive, first interception thrown.
And that last one, that hurts. And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. And down inside the 15 he goes. These are his numbers from last week's contest. And Charles, how do you think he ran the football?
I thought he definitely had his moments. I did think that they could have utilized him a little bit better, and I'm definitely going to keep an eye on him to see how they're going to use him this week.
Come on, let's go! What? 90!
Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. Sideline throw, it's complete. And a nice job there of keeping the toes inbounds. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down.
If you're running out route, it's likely you're going to end up near the sideline. And what did we just see there?
Toe tap.
You got it. The benefits of practice. Toe tapping, foot dragging, picking it up and making.
And he's going to take it in for a Steeler touchdown. A great play there with a lucky number 13 touchdowns now on the year. And the Steelers have taken a first quarter lead. On for the extra point, Jake Elliott. Footing always a concern, but the extra point's up and good. And it's now a 7-0 game. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. And now Oakland ready to take the field. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, it totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack him here. The numbers for him from a week ago. 9 catches, 126 yards. They'll run it now out of the gun.
Look, I know everybody wants to be number 1 in everything they do, but he's number 2 in the league in receiving yards. That's a strong number, a strong year, and they want that to continue.
5 yards is the pickup there as that extends this drive.
It's really simple to say that they know their identity, that they are a passing team. But one of the reasons that they're so successful, they know how to mix in the run and make sure that they keep the defense off balance and not able to just simply say, let's go get the quarterback and disrupt things. I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
Give him 2 on that run, and they're still left looking at a third and about 9 to go. And this O-line, it is the lifeblood of the offense.
They established the tone. Mean, nasty, physical. They can't wait to get after people. That allows the rest of the offense to feel confident.
And on third down, a nickel formation here defensively.
Here we go now. 3-19.
He'll drop to throw. And this is going to be incomplete. Here's the Raiders punter now, as he's on to punt for the first time this afternoon. This will be fielded at the 17. Very good return that time. 18 yards. And the Steelers will go on offense here, 1st and 10. The Steelers offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. And it's only November, but the playoffs, we know how it works. They'll be here before you know it. If it ended today, they would be the number 1 seed.
And that's a great spot to be in. But I love the phrase, if it ended today. And I'll guarantee you, that's what they've discussed in their locker room, in their meeting rooms. Yeah, we know where we'd be if it ended today, but we also know it's not ending today.
Right.
So they've got to continue to play the type of ball that put them in the spot where they're number 1 in their conference.
Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. They'll set up to throw. And he's got his man on the out route. And he'll be brought down just shy of midfield at the 49-yard line. Call it a gain of 7, and it gets him a new set of downs.
That was a route run not just with dexterity, but with intelligence. Found the hole in the zone, made sure the quarterback saw him, and was able to make the sure catch and put the down marker back to 1.
And he's going to drop this off to his fullback. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. The passing game in rhythm right now for Pittsburgh. There's another first down. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10.
Come on, let's go. Try it 38. Try it 38.
Back with Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin. It's Steeler football to begin quarter number 2. And they're on the move here. They've got it 1st and 10. And they'll run it here. Nothing doing. Barely able to muster a yard to hit the 35.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
Looking middle, and that's complete. First catch for him. It's good for a dozen and a first down. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is. to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front, defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. And that one got tipped, kind of threw everything off. It brings up 3rd.
Well, we're not playing 3 yards in a cloud of dust football anymore. I kind of get why those old school coaches sometimes didn't want to throw the football. Because if it's popped up in the air, it almost turns into slow motion. And both sides trying to get to the football, and you're holding your breath wondering whether it's going to go good or bad for your team.
And now the 3rd down throw incomplete as well.
That's a good job there creating the contact to force the incompletion. And now, since it's 4th down, that should set up a field goal situation.
And a nice sigh of relief defensively to be able to hold them to 3. And that'll be off the crossbar and out. It's short. He couldn't get it there. It's no good. And this score will stay right where it is. Well, he had that one on target. That's half the battle. The other half of the battle, however, is distance.
And he nearly had that, too. But it was the crossbar that said otherwise. And that'll deny him a shot at 3.
It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
Well, you had to punt on your first drive, and on the first play of the second drive, you end up going backwards. I would dare say they need something good to happen right here, right now.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. He'll look to throw. And the Steeler pressure too much here. He's going to go down.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And he's able to get up here to the 26. Call it a gain of 5. And that's going to bring up a 4th down. Here's the Raiders punter now as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. And this one hits at the 3 and then bounds into the end zone for a touchback. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. And they had compiled a pretty long drive last time. Unfortunately, though, it ended with no points after the missed field goal.
And that can hurt the psyche of a team because as they drove downfield, you know you're never supposed to count points in your mind until they go up on the board. Well, let's face it, we've been there. We've seen teams before. They were counting on those points. They didn't get them. Can they come back now, start over again, and grind it out?
Right off the bat, it's a 1st down to start the drive, 12 yards. Two minutes remain here in the 1st half. Back to Heinz Field after this. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. They'll look to throw now on 1st down. And this is incomplete.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that 1st down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
And 2nd and 10, he'll look to throw again. Going to throw right side here, complete. And they bring him to the ground just shy of midfield. It'll be a gain of 17 and a Pittsburgh 1st. Okay, so now the question, how did he get that wide open?
Well, we both know that he shouldn't because from the time they handed out scouting reports before this game, he was circled, starred, everything. Find him, cover him. But sometimes you can scheme a guy open. You put the receivers in a bunch. Maybe you move some motion. Maybe you put them on the backside of a formation, and all of a sudden you've got a better matchup. Every now and then, the offensive guys, they figure a way to get him open, even with everyone keeping eyes on him.
And that's certainly a guy they want to keep trying to scheme open. His throw caught right around the 6. And they are able to stop him, but he does take it all the way to the 2. A good pickup there, a 22. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. You can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that?
Got his man. It's caught for a Steelers touchdown. As his guys are in for 6, and the Steelers are going to add on to their lead. And that'll give them a 2-score lead here, but I'm looking ahead. They just want to hold it for the final moments here of the second quarter. They don't want to give up anything on the other side.
No, not at all, because if they don't, it almost had the feel of an imposing their will score. And right now, they want to make sure they keep that and carry it into the second half.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This fielded at the 2. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. And now Oakland ready to take the field. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. And a big loss here as he's taken down. And the Steelers signal for another timeout, as the clock will stop with 20 seconds to go in the first half. After the sack, they'll come up now 3rd and long.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see them run the ball here just to try and get some space.
And indeed, that's what they'll do as they run it here. And he's going to lose yardage here back at the 8. And a timeout here. Timeout taken, whistles blown. Timeout taken by the receiving team, as they'll stop it with 13 seconds to play in half number 1. So possession goes over here on the punt. And there'll be time for maybe one final play before halftime. The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on 1st down.
Come on, let's go.
They'll come out throwing here on 1st down. He sets to fire deep. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete. So we reach halftime here in the Steel City with the Steelers on top, as we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. Coach.
Okay, all right, Brandon, thank you very much. Hi again, everyone. Let's get you caught up with what's going on around the NFL as we are officially into the second half of the season. We'll begin our tour up at First Energy Stadium in Cleveland, and it's the Browns who have the lead late in the first half. The Browns trying to hold on and claim victory. From there, it's off to North Carolina to check on the Panthers at home in Charlotte. And it's the visiting Washington Redskins who have the lead in that one. The Skins looking to sew that one up, and they look to be in pretty good shape. Finally, we're off to Atlanta to check on the Falcons at home at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. And right now, they have the lead over the visiting New York Giants. The Falcons trying to gut this one out, as it would be a good victory for them if they could get it. Meanwhile, in our game, it's been a back-and-forth first half. Who can put it together in the second half? For the answer, we turn it back over to our broadcast team of Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. Forecast calling for more of the same. The rain set to continue as we are underway in the second half. The Steeler offense now with a football first here to begin the third quarter. This is sort of what you would call a put-away.